So, welcome to class. I'd like you just to take a moment to arrive, to kind of allow yourself to land, let your sit bones settle on the surface that you're sitting on or laying on if you're laying down. Our philosophical theme this week, or something that has really come up for me, is this idea of neutrality as the path to self-mastery. And a really easy and I think relatable way for us all to kind of tap into how valuable this teaching might be is, those conversations that we have in real life, but often especially online, when there is a difference of opinion, or when we want something to happen, or when we don't want something to happen, we're clear that we don't want something to happen, that there comes, we are kind of really holding tight within ourselves of, a way that we see ourselves, a way that we see the world, or, just that idea of right or wrong. And so it's not necessarily about letting go of identities or letting go of our opinions or whatever, although it can be. But it's about being able to deliver them and hear others from a place that internally there is the energy of neutrality or equanimity within. So, hearing those words, I'd like you to just take a few moments to breathe into your inner space. Allow your attention to get low in the body, get down into the belly. And maybe, even in your mind's eye, call to mind one of those times. Maybe it's at work, dealing with a customer, or maybe it's with a family member. We feel quite frustrated trying to get them to see our point of view. It could be any situation at all where you feel in yourself that you've lost that neutrality. Where you are holding tight to how things should be, how they should go, and what is right or wrong. And there is an agitation within. And I want you to see if you can find the pinpoint of that agitation and breathe into it to start to open it up and create a little bit more space around it. And to create this room where you could have that conversation, or you could be in that situation. You might still be clearly stating a no or a yes, or speaking your truth. But energetically, inside, you are neutral. So you can remain undisturbed by however the situation pans out, whether the person sees your point of view or whether they don't, whether they walk away or whether they stay. And I'd like you to just watch yourself throughout the practice for when these moments of tightness arise. And see if you can come back to this practice of moving into the center point of that contraction. Breathing deep. And moving into a space of neutrality. Okay. Let's bring the palms together onto the palms together in front of our heart. And lift up through the front of your chest. Let the heart get a little more buoyant. Draw your shoulders back. Bow your head to your heart and take one arm, deep breath in. Good. All right. Beautiful. All right, so from there, let's move anything off our mat and then lightly on it. And we'll bring the legs out in front. And we'll start to move a little bit to open the hamstrings, open the shoulders. So inhale, reach your arms up nice and high. Press down through your sit bones. As you exhale, reach forward and simply fold however you land. Inhale, reach the arms up. And exhale, bring your hands back behind you. You can just work here and roll the shoulders open. So that, if that's where you would like to work, that's perfectly fine. To take it a little stronger, you could press down through the hands and lift the hips up off the floor. And we'll keep moving between the two. So bring the hips down. Inhale, reach your arms high. Exhale, extend and fold. Inhale, reach your arms up. And exhale, bring your hands back behind you. Inhale, roll the shoulders open, possibly lift the hips. Exhale, bring them down. Inhale, reach your arms high. Exhale, extend and fold. Inhale, reach up through your arms. Exhale, bring your hands back. Inhale, roll your shoulders open, lift up. Exhale, come down. Let's do two more. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, and exhale. Good. Last one, inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach high. And exhale, bring the hands back. Inhale, roll open through the chest. And exhale, bring your hands down. We'll cross the legs. And simply bring your left hand over to the left. Inhale, reach your right arm up. And as you exhale, come over to the left. You can bring your hand behind your head. As you inhale, try and twist the right chest open, point the elbow up towards the ceiling a little more. And as you exhale, come over a little more deeply to the left-hand side. And that's what we're going to keep doing. So bring the right arm down, Externally rotate the left arm. Inhale, sweep it up. Exhale, come over to the right. Bring your hand behind your head. Lean back, twist the chest open. Point the elbow up to the ceiling. Keep that as you exhale and come over a little more deeply. We'll do 2 more each side. Inhale and exhale. Bring the hand behind the head. Inhale, take the elbow back. So we're starting to get into the shoulders, side body. Exhale, come over a little bit. Inhale, turn the palms out. Exhale, over. Inhale, open a little more. Exhale, surrender a little more. Good, last one each side. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Good. And from there, we'll come into downward facing dog. I'm going to grab my clock on the table. So tuck your toes, press back. You want your hands shoulder width distance apart, or even slightly wider, and the feet hip width distance apart. You can bend your knees a little and try and drag the feet in. Now, both feet and hands want to feel grounded and strong here. So, you know, we want to be able to stand strong and grounded, but without it kind of moving into the territory of this stubborn immovability. So feel that each breath allows you to open up a little bit more, to get a little lighter, to reach back, that there is this constant ebb and flow of information moving in via sensation, and then feedback as you kind of change your position little minute by little minute. You are not fixed, but you are responsive. And then we'll look forward, we'll step the left foot all the way through to the inside of the left hand. You might need to help it through. You could always bring the back knee down to the floor, your choice. And from there, we'll inhale and bring both arms up to the sky. And if it feels a bit much to bring both arms up, just place the hands on the front knee. Try and drag the left heel back towards the right knee. So you get nice and grounded and strong, and then lift on up. So either hands stay on the knee or reach up through the arms. Good, release. Bring your hands down. We'll take a little twist here, so you can twist to the left and possibly take the left arm up to the sky. Good. And release. Bring your hands down. Lift the back knee and step back, downward facing dog. We'll take the other side. Look forward. Step your right foot all the way through to the space between your hands. Bend into the front knee. You can drop the back knee or not, your choice. And then lift up, either hands on the knee or all the way up. Ground down through your right foot as you try and drag the foot and the knee towards one another. Lift up out of the belly. Breathe. Observe the quality of your mind, the thoughts, the stories about yourself, about this moment. And please bring your hands down as you keep the hips forward, twist to the right. You know, even in our yoga practice, we can have these really fixed ideas about ourselves come up Perhaps it's about our ability to do certain things. Let's step the back foot forward and fold over the legs. Release your head and neck. And just observe where those little stories come up throughout the practice, and see if you can soften around that. Inhale. What would it be like if I wasn't quite so attached to that story about myself or the world, whatever it is? Okay. And inhale, lift the chest, bring your hands to your hips, press down and come up. There's this beautiful quote or idea that a friend of mine was talking about. What does it matter how successful you are if when you get there, who are you when you get there? And it's, you may be right, you could be having an argument with your partner, and you finally admits you're right, and you got there in the end, and you both feel really contracted and not very good in the end, like what came from being right there. So it's this constant practice of coming back in and softening, relaxing that need for things to be a certain way. So let's cross the left foot over the right foot. So I'm going to mirror you, so left foot over the right foot. And we'll press down through the right foot, bring the arms up and squeeze the arms together here. Now press down equally, down through both feet, but you're going to focus on grounding through the right foot more, and we'll come over to the left. Try and keep the arms straight and strong. As you inhale, press down so that you're able to lift up. And then you can come over a little more deeply. One more breath. And release. Come up and release the hands down. Now, before you uncross the feet, bend the knees slightly. See if you can fold forward over the legs. So you just want to see how you go. You might find that you're not able to cross the feet so much. So if not, you'll just take the right foot back a little bit. So it'll decrease the intensity of the pose, and then you can kind of bend the knees a little bit more to take the forward fold. And we'll take 3 breaths here. Good. Now, Michelle, particularly, I'd like you to uncross the feet to come up. But if there's any lower back stuff going on, you bring the hands, uncross the feet, bend the knees a little, and come all the way up. And then we'll do the other side. So we're now taking the left foot behind the right, I believe. So right foot is in front. Inhale, bring the arms up, pistol grip. Press down through the left foot now as you come over to the right. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, come over. Inhale. And exhale. One more. Good, and release. Come up, release the hands, and bend your knees slightly to come forward so that you can really pivot at the hips so that I'm not rounding through my back, but I can instead really move from the hips, and then we fold over the legs. And again, if this feels too much, you just take the left foot back a little. Good, and possibly uncross the legs to come up, bring your hands to your hips, squeeze the elbows in, and press down to come up. Stand tall. Okay. All right. From there, let's move through a little sequence, a little warrior one sequence. So we'll perhaps stand with the feet about hip width distance apart. We'll step our right foot back. Point your right toes towards the front right corner of your mat and bend into the left knee so that the knee is stacked on top of the ankle. Have thigh nice and firm so you feel stable, solid here. Now, you can keep the left hand on the hip and bring the right arm up to the sky. And you want to feel that sense of evenness placed through the four corners of both feet. Inhale here. And exhale, stay. Inhale, straighten your front leg. And as you exhale, draw the left hip back, reach forward. Try and keep the right arm in line with your ear as you fold forward. Then from there, you can bend the front knee, press down to come up. Try and keep the arm in line with the ear. Exhale, stay. Inhale, straighten front leg. Exhale, draw the left hip back, extend and fold. Bend, press down, come all the way up. Exhale. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, extend and fold. Good, bend the front knee, press down, come all the way up. Exhale, stay. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, extend and fold. Good. And then we'll bend in the front knee, press down, come all the way up. Reach your left arm high, 2 breaths. Feel yourself settle. Bring your hands down, step forward and pause. So now there is, a sense of, I've lost the word, but when we only do one side, asymmetry is the word that I'm looking for. So notice how it feels to be leaning to one side over the other. Not necessarily literally. And then we'll step the left leg back. So that your left toes point to the front left corner of your mat, your back thigh is firm. Round down through the four corners of each foot. Bring your right hand onto the hip and reach your left arm up down. Now inhale, exhale, stay, legs firm. Inhale, straighten the front leg. Exhale, extend and fold. Bend the front knee, inhale, come up. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Bend the knee, inhale, come up. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, reach. Bend, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Good, now bend, press down, come up. Reach your right arm up, just 2 breaths. As neutral and as calm and as steady as you could possibly be. Release, step forward and stand tall. Good. All right, let's step the feet wide. Toes turn in slightly, outer edges of your feet parallel. We'll turn the right toes out. Bend deep into your right knee, lift and spread the toes. Try and drag the feet towards one another. Extend it out through your fingertips and breathe. Now, the longer we hold here, the more stories are likely to arise. I want you to be impartial. Don't buy into them. Oh, I can't hold here any longer. Oh, I'm not strong enough. My legs can't hold me here any longer. I can't hold my arms up. Impartial. Neutral to these stories. You do not have to respond. Good. Straighten your front leg. Turn your right toes in. Turn your left toes out. Bend into your left knee. Stack your left knee on top of your left ankle. Bring your arms out and breathe. Make sure you can feel your body. So when we move out of neutrality, we move up into the head, and then from there, we start to contract in the body. If you move down into the body and take up more space there, you're going to start to move yourself back into a neutral state. So even though the muscles might be shaking, they might be really firm, there might be a story coming up, move down, be in your body, take up more space. Okay. And straighten. Turn your toes in. Let's interlace the hands behind our back. So we'll take that interlace, shrug the shoulders up, pull them back, and lift the hands away from the hips as much as you can. A little bend in the knees. As you exhale, fold forward. Each breath, fill the torso and feel how the chest naturally wants to expand through front, lift and lengthen away from the floor, and then you can come down a little more deeply. And release your hands down. Let's come down onto the knees, and we'll take child's pose. So you can bring the toes together, knees wide. Reach your arms out in front, forehead to the floor. Make sure that your forehead can comfortably rest on something, even if that's your hands or your closed fists. A couple of breaths here. Another way that we could look at this kind of internal space that we are looking to cultivate here, you can stay in child's pose, is, a place of being at peace with whatever is, with however the moment unfolds. Of course, There may still be a preference, there may still be a desired outcome, and there may be things that are right, facts that are right, facts that are wrong, whatever, the situation is. But we internally are at peace with whatever happens. All right. So I'm going to get you to come back up onto all fours. And this is kind of one of those all-you-can-eat buffet type situations. So you can come along with me the whole way, or you can choose to stop off anywhere along the way. So first option, just take the right leg back and keep the toes tucked under. So you can either work here with the left arm out in front. That's an option. You could possibly raise the right leg. So you could keep the left hand down and raise the leg. You get to choose whether you do one or both. Good. And then from here, if you'd like to go a little bit further, as you exhale, hug the left elbow and the right knee towards one another. Inhale, extend out through the arms and the legs. Exhale, hug in. 3 more. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, and just bring the hands and the legs down. So try and do the same thing on the other side that you just did on that side. So first option, toes just tuck. You can pause here. You can possibly lift the leg or keep the toes down and raise the arm, or both. Good. Extend out, get strong through the whole back line of the body. And even if you notice that you're starting to waver, or you find it challenging, can you be neutral to the challenge? Internally, you're like, that's okay. Exhale, squeeze in. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Last one, inhale, and exhale. Inhale out, and bring the hands down. Okay, another asymmetrical pose here. We're going to bring the left knee forward, take the right knee back. It's a little funny. Now, as you exhale, just take both hips back, but try not to swing the hips out to the left. Try and just take them back towards the heels. You won't be able to go very far. You can bend the elbows out to the side. And then inhale, come forward. Exhale, take the hips back. Try and keep the spine moving or the tailbone moving back in the straight line. Inhale, come forward. Exhale. Good, 2 more. So the hips are kind of locked. You can't go back too far at all. But it gets into a little bit of a different place in the hip. Good, let's change legs. So bring the right knee to where the left knee is and take the left knee back. Inhale, and then exhale. First one feels the funniest, so it's fine. Inhale, come out. And exhale, bend the elbows out to the side. Inhale, exhale. 2 more, inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale. Good. Beautiful. Pause for a moment. You can just sit however is comfortable for you. I wasn't going to do it in the basics class, but we're going to do it just because it's the perfect pose to practice this neutrality. So to be in a situation where you might not enjoy it, but to practice the art of staying neutral, staying in a place of equanimity on the inside. So, lucky ducks, let's just come onto the feet. Spread the toes as much as you can. Roll over the toes and sit back on the heels. So you're stretching through the toes. Good old-fashioned toe stretch. Be with your breath. Watch the stories arise. Three more breaths. Okay. And release. 4. All right. Let's start to set up the shoulder stand. So if you have blankets that you can kind of fold in a nice neat edge, I do think it's a good idea. So two blankets is nice so that we get that nice little edge. And then if you can, you roll the mat over just to the edge of the blankets. So I've now got a little edge on the blankets. If you were doing this against the wall, if you do your shoulder stand against the wall, you'll turn the blanket around and place it up against the wall. So I demonstrated that last week. Michelle, you know what you're doing if you're working with the wall. Otherwise, you can just, you can not worry about any of this and take legs straight up for the Greek karate. I'll just demonstrate that. You wouldn't worry about creating this setup. And you can do this against the wall or not. So if you're doing it against the wall, you would have potentially a big bolster or a roll-up blanket underneath the hips, and either just take the legs straight up in the middle of the room or against a wall so that you can relax your heels against the wall. And the only difference is if you're coming into shoulder stand against the wall is that you'll be doing everything how we're doing it, but the wall is here, and when we bend the knees to come up, you're going to press into the wall to lift the hips up rather than just swing on up. Okay. We do go over that in the inversions week, so if you're watching this on replay, we go over the instructions on inversion a little more. So place your head down just over the lip of the blanket if you're working with the little step in the blankets. And you want to make sure, particularly if you're practicing on a hard floor, if you haven't got enough to create like this little step, then at least put a few, like some layers down to create a bit of softness there that go right away on the mat. Okay, and then from there we can bring the hands down and take a little swing over and bring the hands up to the hips and lift up. You don't have to have the hips all the way up, you could have the hips halfway. We'll take 10 breaths here, so slow deep breaths.
We can perhaps be so attached to the posture that we are doing that we kind of jam ourselves into it to get there. And physically and internally, the space within is, quite contracted and forced. So this is not that equanimous, neutral state that we are hoping to cultivate in our yoga practice. And from here, we'll bring both toes down towards the floor, and they may touch or they may not. And of course, you are unattached to whether that happens or not. And then gently start to roll out. And move back so that you lay off the little lip of the blanket. If you're working against the wall, you don't have to move back. But if you are on a lip, you put something underneath your head if you're against the wall. And if you haven't got this little kind of raised platform that you've been practicing on, you could slide a roll-up towel underneath the backs to get the backs, or just your single back to get a little bit of a back bend through the upper torso. And from there, if you've got props to roll out and get back to normal, roll to one side and take your mat back out. And we'll lay down on our back again. Let yourself get heavy against the earth. We want to really pay attention to the effects of all the postures. And I find it's interesting to watch myself teach when I'm demonstrating everything for you, because my voice reflects the qualities that each of the postures bring. Probably 80% more than when I'm just teaching normally, because I'm doing the practice along with you. All right. So we've got our knees bent, and the heels are directly underneath your knees. And as you exhale, press down through your feet and interlace your hands underneath your back. Try and get the upper arms in underneath the rib cage. You can lift the toes. I love to lift the toes here. Press down through the four corners of the feet and lift up. So you press down to rise up. And it's the same in your body. Sit low and move down so that you can rise up, so that you can fill your own space and get a sense of lightness about you. Maybe lift up a little higher for the last two breaths. And release. And either bring the feet wide so that you feel the edges of the mat and the knees together, or you can bring the soles of the feet together and take your knees wide. Your choice. Okay, we're going to take one more of those. So please set up in the same way. Place the heels underneath the knees, hands down by your side, take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, lift on up, interlace your hands underneath your back. If it's available to you, you could bring the hands up, roll onto one shoulder and get the other hand underneath the lower back. Roll onto the opposite shoulder and get the other hand underneath the lower back. Good, and release. Come down, soles of your feet together, knees wide. Good. All right. So from here, let's roll to one side and press ourselves up. We'll take an easy twist to finish. So you can cross the legs. Inhale, reach your arms high. And as you exhale, twist to the right. So left hand comes to the outside of the right knee. Right hand behind you. As you inhale, open up through your chest. As you exhale, just twist a little more deeply. See if you can feel into the neutrality of the center of your spine here. Not just the upper spine, but as it moves down to the lower part of your body and then the spin around it. And let's release back. Pause for a moment. And then we'll inhale, reach both arms up. Exhale, twist to your left. Left hand comes behind you, right hand to the outside of the left knee. And release and move back. Feel into
the new space within you that you're creating. Notice how there is more possibility, there's more room for movement in the body now, perhaps in the mind now. You know, we're as much working with the flexibility of the mind as we are with the flexibility of the body. And we'll come forward, so you can creep the fingertips forward and stay on teepee hands, or on the tips of the fingers, the palms are lifted up off the floor. Inhale, shrug the shoulders up, and as you exhale, extend and fold. Three more breaths. And gently make your way all the way up. And now, please make your way down for Shavasana. So lay down on your back, set up how best suits you for Shavasana. Perhaps it's a blanket over you, an eye pillow, or a scarf, or however you will be comfortable. As you settle and allow yourself to get heavy, if any thoughts arise, just soften your grip on them. Create this space where whatever you have been holding on tightly to, fixed on it being a certain way, just see your hand release a little. So you're just holding that thought in the space of your hand. Maybe it's about something that you could do or something that you couldn't do. Maybe it's the view of a particular person. They are this or they are that. Or that the situation is this, it is not that. And just see whatever visual representation of that person's situation or identity in your closed fist, and watch your fist uncurl and allow it to just sit there on your open hand. You do not have to hold it. And see if you can practice this art of releasing your grip and maybe it blows away. Maybe you let that belief, maybe you let that identity Maybe you let that thought go and you don't chase it. Or maybe it just sits there. Like a silent truth. It doesn't need to yell or scream. It doesn't need to be held down. Hold it on the tip of your finger like a butterfly. And trust that whatever is not needed, whatever is not true, helpful or beneficial will fly away. Whatever remains is simply a soft and quiet truth. Please begin to deepen your breath and move your body. Stretch your body. Roll to one side. And then gently make your way up to the seated position, sit tall. Palms together. One gentle arm to finish. Deep breath in. Thank you. Om Shanti.